Alright, so this pasta is really dependent on cheese. So we've got 3 different types of cheese here. We're trying to use as little flour and as wheat products as possible. So here we've got 1 cup of ricotta cheese. The lower the moisture, the better on this, because we're not going to have to add as much flour to it in order to sort of absorb the moisture. We also here, this is cheese called Little Moo, which is a fresh cow's milk cheese. And Little Moo is very similar to kind of like a cow equivalent of Chev. So fresh, tangy, there's not a whole lot of moisture in there, so it works really well for this. And then we have some really finely shaved Parmesan Reggiano. The Parmesan is really great, again, because it has low moisture. It also adds a lot of flavor. We have panko breadcrumbs, we have flour, we have a little bit of olive oil, we have some sea salt from Sea Love. We have 3 eggs, and that's it. We're going to go ahead and mix these together and get started. The key to this is when we mix all these ingredients, we want to make sure not to overmix. So we're thinking about biscuit dough here. When you're making biscuits, you're bringing all of these ingredients together and you're being really careful not to overwork it. The panko breadcrumbs are really nice because what they actually do is they kind of create a structure in the pasta where you get pockets of cheese forming in the gnudi. So we've mixed these together. We've reserved half of our flour so that we can kind of add a little more if needed, but also to flour the table. This part right here, there's a number of ways you could do this. You could do kind of scoops or spoons of this gnudi dough into boiling water. The way we're going to do it, we're going to roll it into cords. So we've got a little bit of flour on the table. We're going to flour the outside, bring it together, make sure there are no air pockets so that we can roll this. It's a little wet still, so we're going to keep making sure to add flour as we go. Here we have a gnudi paddle. You can pick one of these up at Seasoned Gourmet, or you can order them online. If you don't have one of these and you wanted to use a fork, you can kind of accomplish the same idea with the fork. Everybody kind of has their own way of rolling these out. You'll see some people will kind of press deep into the gnudi paddle. With these, they're so delicate, I don't like to push that hard. I like to just kind of create lines on the outside of the pasta dough and then move on. So we're going to roll it, getting that line, kind of give it a squeeze like that, and then we're going to move on to the next. Rolling boil, this is really important. You want it to be really hot. You want to cook these things really quickly, and it's kind of nice because you want to do these in small batches. We're going to put in maybe 10 at a time, and you'll notice that they sink to the bottom. As soon as they float, they're ready. So you want to be here and be ready with a strainer. And as they float to the top, we're going to quickly scoop them up, and we're going to get them onto this oiled sheet tray over here. You can gently roll it onto the sheet tray. We're going to chill them again so that they firm up, because again, the cheese is going to be easier and firmer to work with when it's cold. And then we're going to crisp them up in a pan with a little bit of butter. It's going to give them a really nice kind of caramelized toasted cheese on the outside. They're going to be really soft on the inside. Some roasted butternut squash. This is the inside, kind of where the seeds are. It tends to be a little bit sweeter, so we left this whole, kind of give it a little textural difference. We've got some shaved chestnuts, which we get from Feast Down East locally, which are amazing. Just some beautiful top soy from Joe and Nicole, our organic herb farmers. We have the sage that we fried, a little bit of cheese, more fresh herbs. Fresh herbs are always great with pasta, so they can kind of, we always make room for great herbs that we have from Joe and Nicole. This is a little bit of our balsamic brown butter. We're going to come over here and look at these things. For the last stage here, we're going to take the gnudi and we're going to crisp them up in a pan. Non-stick pans are great for this. You also want to make sure not to crowd your pan. You want to give them room so they can kind of get crisp. Just want to get a little bit of color and then flip them over. Whole butter will kind of help release the gnudi from the bottom of the pan. So we've got those, they're looking good. We're going to throw in some of this top soy, just kind of crisp it up a little bit in the pan. Throw in our chestnuts. squash puree. Do a nice spoon down on the plate. You could also serve this on the side if you wanted to, it would be fine. Got that. And then we're gonna start building these ingredients onto the plate. So, I'm going to finish it with some fresh apple, a little sage that we crisped up as well, shaved Parmesan. I like to use a peeler for Parmesan. Got our fresh herbs on there. We have some chervil, some oregano, some fresh thyme. And then we have our balsamic brown butter. This is something you'll probably want to just kind of drizzle over right before serving it. It goes really well with the squash. It's kind of a really great fall sauce.